friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Sunday, this football Sunday. It's a strange football Sunday because everybody has COVID. So we will be talking about that and a whole lot more on today's show. Charlie Cox was trending on Twitter today, and I was like, oh my God, what's going on with Charlie Cox? And then I saw hashtag Save Daredevil was trending. And a lot of people are pushing for Charlie Cox to be Daredevil and to stay as Daredevil. It doesn't seem like there's as much push for Kristen Ritter or for anybody, for Mike Coulter or Finn Jones. It just seems like people are like, Charlie Cox, which is kind of wild to me. But I do want to get your guys' opinion on what they should do with Daredevil, what they should do with Charlie Cox, etc. Rest in peace to David Prowse, who was the man behind the mask for a while for Darth Vader. He passed away today, I believe, at 85. We'll be talking about him. I've been watching The Crown. I've been seeing a lot of controversy online about The Crown as well, how accurate it needs to be to the show, and people being upset about it taking creative liberties as a historical drama. So all of that and more, plus we're ready for whatever people throw at us today. Yesterday was a hell of a stream, We don't need to talk about it for too long on the show because we don't need to let them hijack the show yet again. But in general, I got a lot of my friends who reached out to me yesterday. It was really sweet. Winston Marshall, Ben Goddard, Kevin Smets, John Roca, a lot of people checking on me, making sure that I was okay after yesterday's show, because it was a lot. It was a fucking lot. And honestly, I truly am okay, because something's wrong with them. And I've dealt with anti-Semitism my whole life. And so that is what it is. And also, like, you can't really fight more, just whatever it is they are, with logic. There's so many adjectives that just came to mind, but I don't want to just start name calling, although I'm not above that. But it was wild. Thank you to PLD for coming in and cleaning out, taking out the trash. Appreciate that. We had 70 thumbs down on that video. I wonder how many of them are bots. I wonder where they come from, all of that stuff. But it was an insane in the membrane show yesterday. And thank you guys for sticking with me through it all. I really appreciate it. It's also been brought to my attention that a lot of you guys are really struggling right now. And I don't want to name any names because I don't know who's being open about their depression and their frustrations and their trauma and their stress and their isolation during this time. But we did have 2 rock stars take their life in the last month. So I just want you guys to know that I'm on the lookout. I see you guys. I hear you guys. I got a message late last night about somebody that I was highly concerned. It seems like that person is, I know okay is a relative term, but made it through the night with us. And I just want you guys to know that I am more aware than maybe even I seem. And I'm here if you guys need something, and I'm listening. And the rock stars show up every single day. So it's nice and easy to check in and to know what's going on here with all of you guys. So please give us updates, talk to us, let us know what's going on in your life. We're here. It's really all I can say. We can only be here if you let us, but we are here. And I really do believe that for everybody, things get better, and certainly they get different. And usually that does lead to better at some point. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. So anyway, so much love to all of you guys. I want to start with the Streamlabs and the super chat, and then we will get into some points of conversation for today, avoiding saying topics at all costs. LD in the house. LD came back to us. Thank you, LD123. He says, hey, coach, I spent the holidays with the troupe I'm doing Romeo and Juliet with, as those are the only people I'm around right now. I'm so happy you get to spend it with family. My family doesn't believe in COVID-19, so I'm not around them right now. Wow, LD, it is so crazy how many people still have that stance. It's like, what? What do you mean? Like, is this some kind, like, people who think it's a hoax? It's like, who is winning then? Like, who would plan this? Who's benefiting from this? It makes no sense. LD also says a few things. I started getting into the Schmodown thing, and I have to say, you are great at acting mean and being supportive. By the way, the bald guy on your team is sexy as fuck. The other one who is crazy sexy for an older guy is Dan. Something he is the guy who had a partner who is a cowboy. I also like the boy manager with the cat. I've been exploring myself while I'm alone at my appointment doing this play, and the woman who plays my mom is helping me a ton and has offered to help me explore and to bring me in with her and her husband. Oh, interesting. Not sure if I'm ready for this, but the boy who plays Romeo, who is super cute and nice, evening one night where he cooked me dinner and then he gave me a massage. I felt his boner while he did this, and I really to suck it, but I didn't. Oh my God, LD. If I do end up with Romeo, any advice on giving a good blowjob? He did play with me a little during the massage. Fuck, coach, I'm so horny. I just really want to be eaten out for more than 4 minutes. Love everything about you, LD. All right, we got a lot to break down here. Guys, we ready to get our thinking caps on for LD? Let's start with Schmodown stuff because it's an easier transition into the other stuff, but we've got you. We've got you. Okay. In terms of Schmodown stuff, you said you like the bald one on my team. I'm trying to think of which one that is. Are you talking about Snyder or are you talking about Draco? Both of them are amazing. Both of them, I think Draco is fully bald, so maybe that's who you're talking about. He is queer, so he doesn't play for our team, but he is a beautiful man and I adore him. In terms of Dan, yes, Dan is great. Dan has an amazing, wonderful, incredible partner. Her name is Mara, and we're obsessed with her also. So, but yes, very, very handsome. And then the guy with the cat. Guys, who is she talking about? The guy with the cat. Does anybody know? Who is? I got to go back and look at. Okay, let's see exactly what you said. I also like the boy manager with the cat. The boy manager. Who's the boy manager with the cat? Is that Koi? Does Koi have a cat? You guys, yeah, you guys are all saying Koi, Barbarian. He's on the manager. Koi and Spidey Cat. Oh, okay. Yeah, Koi's great. He's from Boston. Total hottie and awesome dude. Totally great guy to have a crush on. So rock on with your bad self with that one. And all right, now talking about the other stuff, I think that just always remember you can always do something, but you can't always take something back. So like if you think that this is going to make you uncomfortable with the person who's playing your mom and her husband, because it has to have a certain level of, I'm not saying you don't, but maturity in order to handle that then on set. Same thing with the guy partner. I always just think it makes things messier because you have to think about what the worst case scenario would be. The worst case scenario is that you guys end up hooking up and then afterwards he's a complete dick. He hooks up with other people on set. He's awkward around you and your performance suffers for it and you can't do your job. So I just always think it's safest and best to wait till afterwards. Now, obviously, that's not the way it goes all the time. Plenty of co-stars hook up. We watch that get messy constantly. But it's just very, very challenging to keep it professional while you're making it not professional with people. So I would try as hard as you can to avoid at all costs. And if you can't, then I would try to set up some guidelines for yourself, which are like, even if it goes south, I'm going to do my fucking job. I'm going to be as professional as possible. I'm going to show up to set. I know that I can give my best performance no matter what happens. So all of that would be my advice. Best of luck, LD. Keep us posted. Stay strong, girl. Don't do anything that you're going to regret or that you feel like you can't take back because it's a hard road from there when you still have a long time with these people. Looking in the chat for a second, you guys are talking to Ross Bristow, who says that he's in a really hard place. Ross, we see you. We're here. I'm sorry to hear that. And if you want to talk to us a little bit about what's going on, we're happy to listen. I hope that you're okay and that this is a temporary place. And, you know, you're saying that it's your fault and you're ashamed. I don't know what happened. Very likely it's not your fault, or if it is partially something that you could control, whatever happened, then it's still something that we can work through. So just know you're not going to always feel like this. Think about any feeling you've ever felt in the past, and they're fleeting. It's like the weather. It's like the weather. So just try to remember that. Oh, my dude. It's a fucking hard time for a lot of people. All right, moving forward from LD. Thank you, LD. Obsessed with you. Keep showing up. Keep talking to us. Oh, yeah. The advice. I don't even want to give you advice on the VJ front because, girlfriend, I don't know that it's the right situation for you right now. But in general, I would just say, like, if this is the path that you decide to go down, have as much fun with it as you can. Like make sure you're exploring. You can Google different tips, like Cosmo and stuff has it, but just try to, it's not fun for anybody if it's not fun for you. So only do things that like feel good for you too, and that are fun for you as well. That would be my best advice I could give you, LD. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Texas teacher in the house. Texas teacher says, hey, Roxy, still clean and sober. Hell yeah. But I'm having a hard time right now. Texas, you're not alone. My extended family is pissed at me because I refuse to join them in the big celebration for Christmas. I'm sad that I'm not comfortable with combining circles when the COVID numbers are going up. So now they're saying I'm trying to break up the family. But on the bright side, I booked a crazy writing gig over the next 4 months to help write a Bandersnatch / choose your own adventure style film project. The script is set to be over 1,000 pages. What? That's wild, Texas teacher. Here's what I'll say. Anybody who's too harsh on anybody during this time period of COVID for what their COVID guidelines are, I think in a year or 2 years or with distance from this is going to realize that like it was everybody's prerogative to set their own boundaries with what they feel comfortable with during this time. As long as they're not risking other people, it's okay to be more strict and more safe and not feel like it's okay to go see your family. Right now, you're making the decision that possibly saves lives and they're not. So I respect what you're doing. I think that it's smart and it's brave. And if your family doesn't understand it now, I really believe one day they will. And I think you can just try to level with them as much as you can and say, I hear you guys. I am so sorry that this is how you feel. This is not something that I'm doing intentionally. When you say that my intentions are to break up the family, that's absolutely not what I'm trying to do. I cannot wait until this time period is over and we can all be together again. I'm happy to FaceTime in. I'll still be a part of the event. This is just what I need to do in order to feel safe and comfortable and do my part. And no judgment on you guys for what you're doing. I hope that you guys are safe as possible and that you wear masks and that you are safe around each other. But this is just what I have to do. And I hope you guys can respect that and see how that goes. It's a tough road. Everybody is so different on this one. Oh boy. So hopefully that helps. And yeah, this is a good point from hi Lloyd from Langley, who said, I'd rather have angry family relatives that are still alive than happy dead ones. It's a really, really solid point. So yeah, and you can explain to them that you are doing it for them, even if they don't feel that way. Rob Fishbeck in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer says, how crazy was yesterday? Terrible people, but it was hilarious how everything went down. How they found us, I still don't understand. LOL, I know, we're in our own little corner of the internet. I thought we were safe here. We still are safe, but we got a lot going on. Going back into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer, Ace Money says, holy shit, Rox. I saw the screenshot of the chat. I don't understand people who come out of the woodwork to hate Jewish people or any kind of racism for that matter. We love you, and please do your best to ignore this shit. I wish we could do more to help. Thank you, Ace Money. You do so much, and I really appreciate you, honey. Sam_Wilson in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer says, hi, Roxy. Longtime watcher, first-time commenter here. Hell yeah, Sam. You handled those crazy assholes yesterday with grace and badassery. Sam, so happy to have you as a longtime watcher. Even happier to have you as a first-time commenter. Hope you comment more often. Just glad that you're in here with us. And I handled it, I think, the best way I knew how, which was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You really got to have thick skin to be in this game. And those motherfuckers will never get to me, no matter how hard they try. So thanks, Sam, for the support, and thanks for being here. You're a rock star, my friend. Glenn Caesar in the Streamlabs with the massive support that Glenn Caesar constantly shows up and gives, and thank God for him, because I do not know what I would do without Glenn in my life. Glenn says, hello, Roxy, love you. Happy World Girl Sunday. As always, thanks for making time to hang out with us earlier this afternoon/morning, especially with the Patriots game coming up in a little bit. Peace, love, bunnies, and hugs to you, RJ, and all the rock stars. RJ, I hope you and the rock stars can all find and feel some joy in each of your days, weeks, months, and years ahead. Remember, even if we're by ourselves, we're not alone. Don't forget, RJ and Rockstars are kind, you're smart, you're important, you're worthy. The Rockstars and World Friends communities are here if you need us. And lastly, to keep the daily reminders going, Miles Cosgrove, Brett Hankinson, Jonathan Mattingly, rest the cops who killed Brown and Taylor, all three of them for killing Brown and Taylor. Do you guys like when I said that one yesterday and threw that in the White Lives Matter people face? They did not like that one. Woof. Glenn, you rock. Yeah, Patriots game is on in 25 minutes, which means I will be jumping off by then, but I am here now. So what else do we got? LD123 joining us again in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider says, hey, coach, does it change with Romeo that I've known here since freshman year of high school, and we've been friends since then? He is such a sweet guy. Also, we have our first show next week. Also, thoughts about pubic hair? Great questions, LD. Does it make a difference that you've known him for a while? I mean, just think about what I said about the worst case scenario, and would you be able to handle that? And like, do you actually like this guy and you see something long term with him, or is it just because you're feeling horny? Like, think about it yourself. I like swallowed that word horny because I'm like, my dad is so here right now, but he just has to be okay with me talking about this stuff because this is my fucking show. Thoughts on pubic hair stuff. Do you mean on you or on him? Everybody has a completely new, their own thoughts on it. So whatever you feel comfortable with. And there's all different, it's not just black or white. There's all different in between. So if it's on yourself, it's legitimately whatever you like. Don't listen to anybody else. It's your body. So if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Totally up to you. And then on if you had like a boyfriend or somebody that you're consistently with, it'd be nice to check in with each other to see what each other was into. But on him, everybody's different also. Kind of depends on like what kind of vibe we're going for. So there are highs and lows of the situation, and you just kind of got to figure out what you want. Hopefully that helps with that. It's like I'm going back and forth between, this is life, guys, talking to LD about pubes and then going into the chat and seeing that some of you guys are really struggling. Oh God, Ross, I get it, the crying and the depression, but I'm telling you, like, just remember that it is temporary, and we have to check into our brains. And it's not even about being strong. It's about being as smart as we can in those moments. Use logic to be like, have I felt like this all of the time in the past? No. So I've felt happiness before, or I've felt peace before. Yes. Is it possible to get there again? Yes. Is that something I should fight for? Yes. Will this feeling last? No. How long will it last? I don't know. So what does that mean I have to do? Power through. Like, try to use logic to overcome the extreme emotions that are going on. And hopefully that will help. Hopefully that will help. It's kind of the best advice I got in that category, and keep showing up here every day and filling us in. Apollo3JP in the house, in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider. What's up, Apollo? He says, a couple things. One, life is good. Apollo, I'm so happy to hear that. Two, the flight attendant, not that bad. Was that a movie? I missed it if it was. Three, Roy Jones Jr. won last night. Didn't they draw? Four, we shouldn't give Jake Paul more validity. That I feel. Five, all hail Snoop Dogg. Yeah, I didn't watch, but I did look at some of Snoop Dogg's commentary, and it does seem like we need more Snoop involved in sports all of the time. How did you guys feel about the fight last night? Who watched by a show of bunnies? Somebody asked me anything on my Instagram, and they were like, "You're not watching?" And I was like, "Nope." I don't know why. I wasn't even close to on my radar. But hey, to each their own. G Smith in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. G Smith just stopped by to say, keep doing what you're doing. And I appreciate that, G Smith. You are a rock star, pun intended. Thank you so much. You're great. Jones Jr. ran last night. Did I make up that that it was a draw? I thought it was. I could be totally wrong about that. But I do not know. I do not know. All right, I'm checking in with Ross right now. I hope you're hearing me. I know it's hard to listen during these times and that your emotions take over, but try and do things like write down a list of like what you want your life to look like one day and how you get there and what it could look like and what you can do to get there. And listen to upbeat music and watch things that make you feel good and don't put on sad songs and don't watch depressing shows. Try to do all those things. And, really, really fight through this. And also remember that this community just can't take another loss. So even if right now it's just doing it for us, just keep showing up for us and we're going to figure it out. That's really how I feel. G. Smith says it was a draw, Rocks. That's what I thought. So why are people in here saying that Jones won? Maybe that's just how they feel. I do not know. All right, before the Patriots game, guys, let's talk a little bit about what's up in the world. It's football Sunday. That's why we're getting out of here at 1 o'clock. It being football Sunday is usually a big deal. Everybody goes on the field. Everybody plays that game of football. We are in 2020. COVID is rampant. And the NFL has zero plan on what to do about their players with COVID. Basically, every team right now has a massive outbreak. Not actually every team, but so many teams. The Broncos, who are playing today, are all four quarterbacks on the Broncos are ineligible to play today, but they still have to field the team, which I'm super confused about, by the way, guys. Like, who has to field the team and who gets their games moved? And how does that happen? There's no rhyme or reason. They just kind of make decisions. They fly by the seat of their pants. They just are kind of like, you guys push your game till Tuesday. You guys have to play sans quarterback. This is how this goes, and this is what happens here. With no plan of attack. No plan of a bubble or multiple bubbles, no intention of keeping their players safe at all. Something bad is going to happen here. Something bad's already happening, but we don't know the long-term ramifications of COVID. I'm not saying that what's happening with Cam Newton not being great has anything to do with that. It seems like it's more about a previous shoulder injury, but like, we just don't know. We don't know. And they are fucking this up left and right. Lamar Jackson and 19 other Ravens players on reserve/COVID list. So that's 20 players on the Ravens. 20 players. It's so many players. 49ers are not able to play inside Levi Stadium for 3 weeks. That one I don't even understand. So they can still play, but just not inside that stadium. And what the fuck does that even mean or look like or what? It's an absolute fucking train wreck. It's an absolute fucking train wreck. The NFL is a goddamn train wreck, and they have no plan. And it kind of just like is what it is this year. Like, everybody kind of has to be no worries about it because they have no plan. So what are you going to do? Just not play? What actually are you going to do? Noah Denman says the NFL is a terrible organization. It's crazy. Been shitty for a long time, overlooking head injuries, domestic abuse, etc. completely. Rob Fishbeck says, what the fuck, NFL? Yes, totally. That as well. Gregory Castillo says, worried about Mark Andrews and James Conner. They've got pre-existing issues and caught COVID. That's what I'm saying. Like, something, and I knock on wood when I say this, but like, something really bad's going to happen, because we know that the majority of people in their 20s and 30s bounce back from COVID. But we also know that some people don't. That's what we've seen. And they have just no, Rob, they are testing nonstop, but they're just not quarantining. So tests sometimes take 5 days to show up, 6 days, 7 days to show up positive. And at that point, they've already infected the rest of the team if they've had it. So it's not even because of the testing. They're testing all the time. They just are also out and about, living their lives with their families at the grocery store. You know, they're just living full-blown lives as opposed to NBA, which was in that bubble. Andrew says NFL needs a plan for the future. Totally, but they do not have one. Jake says NFL has been ridiculous with their approach this year. I mean, Jake, what approach? There was no approach. The approach was, let's just start playing games during a global pandemic and like hope for the best. That was the full approach. And the players were like, but like, we're going to get sick. Some of us are like, for sure going to get sick. And the NFL's like, we'll just like deal with that when that happens. And now it's happening and they're not dealing with it. And they're massive outbreaks. Massive outbreaks. So concerning. Christian Campos says testing won't matter if they don't take measures. Exactly. Like they're testing positive. They're testing positive for COVID because they're not doing anything. Glenn says NFL needs a plan for the present day. Yeah, they have none though. And I think they're just thinking like, okay, this season's kind of a wash. Like we'll just get through it, and there'll be like a Super Bowl, and the weekend will perform, and then we'll next season will be fine. There will be no more COVID. But like, what if this goes on for a mad minute? And what about games that are getting pushed or might ultimately need to be canceled? I mean, the whole thing is fucking wild. It's wild to watch. Go Patriots. Go fucking Patriots. Oh, man. These outbreaks are crazy. The poor Broncos with 4 quarterbacks. Glenn Caesar in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Australia. Yeah, he says, yeah, the Denver Broncos without all 4 quarterbacks is the craziest football news I've heard in a while. Like, how are they going to be able to compete at all? Also, rest in peace, David Prowse. With World Girls Wind Down is at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern tonight, right? Yes, it is, Glenn. Thank you for saying that. I believe Brandy is joining us because her birthday is tomorrow also, and she's an awesome patron. And obviously, you guys know Brandy. She's the shit. So I think she's joining us tonight, but that's when it is. So don't forget to tune in for that. Oh, this is the nicest thing Jake ever said about the Patriots. About those Patriots, though. Yeah, I agree about those Patriots, though. Totally. Demo says, damn, the NFL is a mess. I mean, there's no other way to describe it, Demo. It's just like, eek. It's just totally a fucking shit show. So that's kind of all I have to say about that. Nothing that any sports analyst or expert can't give you, but that's what's going on. Rest in peace to David Prowse. We just talked about that a little bit, but he's the man behind the mask for Darth Vader, often not recognized because he's behind the mask, but Darth Vader is one of the most brilliant characters of all time and easily could have been a complete piece of crap character. Easily it could have gone goofy or weird or not intimidating or not scary. And every single element that went into him, costume design, the man behind the mask, the voice, everything is what made it so that Darth Vader was one of the greatest villains in movie history. So you will be missed. You are loved. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out because I did see that this morning. And I was glad to see it trending because many people don't know who he is, including I didn't even know his name before today. So now I do know his name. I won't forget it. And I'm grateful for all that he brought to the Star Wars movies. We do have to get out of here in 10 minutes. So let's move forward to talk about Charlie Cox and hashtag save Daredevil. I really want to know from you guys, what do you think about this? What is it that you guys believe should happen here? Do you like Charlie Cox as Daredevil? I'm guessing the answer is yes. I actually don't know a single person who doesn't like Charlie Cox as Daredevil, doesn't like Charlie Cox as an actor, or doesn't like him as Daredevil. There are some people who initially, when he was cast, wish that Daredevil was cast as a visually impaired person, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. However, after Charlie Cox was cast, it did seem like there was, after we saw the first season of Daredevil, it did seem like there was an outpouring of love and appreciation for him as Daredevil. He did just such a brilliant job embodying him, and he's a wonderful, wonderful actor. But when people are saying save Daredevil and Charlie Cox and bring him into the MCU and all that stuff, what exactly does that look like? Do we not bring in Mike and Kristen and Finn then? Do they get recast, or are their characters just not involved? Is there a standalone Charlie Cox movie of Daredevil that people are hoping for? What do you guys want to see here? And what does save Daredevil even mean? Is Hulu / Disney Plus eligible to pick up a Daredevil show? I don't think so. I think that there was like a 3-year gap at Netflix between when they canceled and when they would be allowed to. I also don't know what other projects he's working on. We know Mike Coulter was booked for a couple of things. A lot of them are probably booked. We don't even just know. Quarantine affects all of that. So let me look in the chat. Let's see what you guys are talking. G. Smith says, I like Charlie, but trust MCU casting. So G. Smith, does that mean you do want to see a Daredevil in the MCU at least? Curious what you think about that. John Bainbridge says, Cox is a great Daredevil. I give him a cameo in Spider-Man movie, then reboot the show. That's kind of nice. Then we get to see him one more time. It's a nod to the fans. I think that that's a pretty cool idea. Bring him and Vincent back. They could easily use the multiverse to bring them back. Would they even have to use the multiverse, though? And how would that work to bring him back? Haskell says, bring them all back, all the main characters, including D'Onofrio's Kingpin. Every one of them crushed it in their roles. I agree they did, but that doesn't mean other people wouldn't crush them. And do we need them in the storylines? And in what movies would they be in? Or would it be TV shows? Kristen Ritter should be Spider-Woman, like Jessica Jones turns into Spider-Woman. Otherwise, I think that you would have to retcon some shit because they are in the same universe. Bring back Cage and Jones, but not Iron Face. Iron Face is an unbelievable nickname for Iron Fist. Yes, Daredevil Cox, says Pedro. Andrew wants to see Daredevil in the MCU. I do too. Simply Emily says, I'd love to see them back to a Disney Plus show. I'd watch. I mean, who wouldn't watch another season of Daredevil? That show is freaking excellent. More so than Charlie Cox, my favorite of all of them is Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones. I feel like that is one of the best superhero castings of all time. Feels like Kristen Ritter was born to play Jessica Jones, a role that I've always wanted to play and feel like I could embody pretty well. So me saying that, just like, I saw her do it and I was like, she is Jessica Jones. This casting is freaking phenomenal. She is so excellent. And I would really love to see her. I would love to see her back. Daredevil's one of my favorites, says Pedro. Rob Fishbeck says that sort of. He thought too about Haskell saying they did the 2012's Avengers Alien Invasion was referred to as the incident, I believe. Yeah, Kristen Ritter is Jessica Jones, Jake. I completely agree with that as well. Daredevil should cameo in the Spider-Man movies. I think there's a good story there. Sachin, yeah, so that's what a lot of people are saying in here. So it seems like that could be something that maybe they'll look into. I think it's very unlikely that we see Charlie Cox as Daredevil again, but I would say very unlikely means that there's still a 25% chance. I think that it's less than favorable, but still there's definitely a chance because they can kind of do whatever the fuck they want, barring contract issues with Netflix, because again, I don't know exactly what the situation was there. I love Andrew Thomas's comment. Kristen Ritter is hot, totally, but she's also really fucking talented and a total badass. So there's that. Rob Fishbeck says, if the money is right, anything can happen. That is also true. A lot of this depends on finances, and they kind of have the playing cards here a little bit, but it's also, when I say they, I meant the actors, but at the same time, it's not like any of them have gone on after to do this massive fucking project that they're more well known for now. I would say that Kristen Ritter is most well known for being Jessica Jones. At this point, Charlie Cox is most well known for being Daredevil. Mike Coulter is most well known for being Luke Cage. And Finn Jones is definitely most well known for being Iron Fist, for better or worse. I actually didn't hate him, but I feel like it's all their main thing. So it's not like they went on to do something ridiculous afterwards and there's no way they would want to come back. Zeno Mauer says John Bernthal returning as Punisher is a must. In what? In a Daredevil movie? Or in what way? He was incredible as the Punisher, and I loved that show. I really, really did. Noah says, if the MCU recast Daredevil, I'm sure they'll do it well. Of course, I agree. I completely agree. Roach's Myth says, I've wondered whether Iron Fist could show up in Shang-Chi. Probably not in the first one, but could show up in a sequel. Oh my God, Roach, we're talking about that's like 7 years down the line though, because like when is Shang-Chi actually going to come out? And then for us to make the sequel, if you think about something like Aquaman was slated, came out, and then 4 years later their sequel was announced. So now with the pandemic and everything going on, I mean, but some movies, their sequel comes out the next year or the year after. It's just so far down the line, but that would be pretty dope. I do like your suggestion. Thank you guys all for contributing in this conversation. Really appreciate it. You guys are the frickin' best. Going into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Apollo 3JP says, yo, what happened about that monolith that appeared in Utah? That bitch straight up disappeared. I have no idea what you're talking about, Apollo. What did I miss? Somebody fill me in. Glenn Caesar in Streamlabs says, Charlie Cox as Daredevil is cool. Seeing him in the MCU would be fun, but who knows? Bringing all the Defenders cast/characters in the MCU would be dope. And lastly, Roxy, is Jet going to be joining you for a show or a few shows this week? Well, because he can't go in the house, he won't be doing it that way, but maybe digitally. But I've been going up earlier, and to be perfectly honest with you guys, he sleeps very late, so he's asleep during all my shows. Otherwise, I would have had him join me all of the days. He'll be waking up in 4 minutes for the Patriots game, so I'm not sure, but I would love him to, so hopefully I can harass him into it. That seems like a nice way to go about it. So I get all my siblings to do things. Just harass them into it. It's totally, totally good. Before we get out of here, get in any last minute Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer or super chats. I don't think we've had any super chats today. So let me know. Questions, comments, concerns. Bring that stuff in, baby. In the meantime, let's talk quickly about The Crown. The Crown is obviously one of Netflix's biggest hits. That show about the royal family. I watched season 1. I thought it was meh. Everybody else loved it. I missed season 2 and 3. I came back this season for season 4 because it's Princess Di, and I think she's the shit. And people said I didn't need to watch those middle seasons. And so I did watch it. And now I've been seeing on Twitter, you don't have to watch it to understand what I'm talking about here, that a lot of people are upset that it's not historically accurate. And by a lot of people, I mean people close to the royals. They're just like, people need to know that this is a drama and this is a historical drama and it has no accuracy and it is just a complete fiction fabrication. First of all, I wonder how true that is. I've been trying to Google it and look it up. Like, a lot of these stories seem pretty legit. They seem pretty legit. So maybe they take some creative liberties, as all shows do, but a lot of the premises seem like straight up exactly what happened. I'm not sure, though. And then at the same time, I'm also like, it's a TV show, though. It's not repping itself as a docu-series. They said that they need to put out something that says like a complete fabrication or whatever it is, letting people know that it's not real. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. I feel like people should know when they're turning on a Netflix show and they're looking at actors perform that this is not a docu-series. But what do you guys think? Do you think that The Crown should be closer in actuality to historical facts, or do you think that it's okay that it's fictional, or do you think it's okay it takes creative liberties? Do you think it needs to be more clear about the fact that it's taking creative liberties? How close do you believe that it is to the truth? I would love to see all of your thoughts on this, as I'm actually really enjoying The Crown this season, which I didn't think I would say. And even if you guys just pick up the show season 4, I'm telling you, you guys would like this show. It's kind of dope. Roxy as the queen in The Crown, says Pedro. That would be dope. Don't think it's happening, but that would be dope. Langley says, I actually think the show is single-handedly helping the PR. The circumstances are real. The actual details/dialogue are fictional. I think they are worrying for nothing. I kind of feel the same way, Langley. You just phrased it perfectly. That's exactly how I feel. Let's see. Daryl Lay says, LOL, your response is the problem with thinking it is true to life. It's not that I think that the whole show is true to life. I'm just saying, like, The Intruder, right? There's an episode about an intruder. It's like that situation happened. And then the way it happens, I know is not how it happened at all. But I don't think that they just, like, made up that there was an intruder at the Buckingham Palace. Langley says The Crown is making the royals look vulnerable and human. You get endeared to them. I kind of agree with that, too. Scott says the royals are worried about history being altered. Like the English Empire has never done that before. LOL. It's a really good point. It's a really good point. Rob says some liberties are fine. I enjoy accuracy, though. I think that's fair as well. I think it just kind of depends on whatever floats your boat, like what you prefer from the television that you watch. Pink Sweet says there's no way it would be 100% accurate. That family is nuts. LOL. People can find docs on their own. The Crown can be fictional. It's a TV show. They're allowed to do what they want with it, right? Right? I don't know. Oh, boy. Okay, Haskell's giving advice to Ross. Again, I don't know exactly what happened because maybe I missed it, but Ross, you know what you did was wrong. Most important, apologizing to that person and our people and how sorry you are for doing it. They didn't deserve it, how you've hurt them, etc., and it will never happen again. Yes, honestly, sometimes the first step to feeling better is apologizing if you've done something and really coming to terms with it. And that can be something that's really liberating and might make you feel a little better. It might make you feel worse at first, but maybe better down the line. There's no like exact science to this stuff, but we are thinking about you. We expect to see you here tomorrow. We will see you here tomorrow. I'm putting that energy out there because I can't think any other way. Yeah. So in the meantime, guys, I'm going to go watch the Patriots, but any other things, get them in now. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. I'll read them on tomorrow's show. I will also tomorrow make sure that I go through any of the podcast reviews. So get to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star comment, and I will read it tomorrow and root for the Patriots. Tonight, watch us for the wind down, Sunday's wind down. The World Girls were up an hour earlier, so we will be up at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be announcing our slate and all that fun stuff. I'm with Brandy celebrating her birthday and drinking wine, or if you don't drink wine, then drinking tea. I'll probably honestly have tea tonight because I'm feeling a little bit wiped. Good luck to the Broncos today. Don't really mean that, but it's going to be interesting to see what the fuck they do. Put that toilet seat down. Hooray for a stream without Nazis in here. Who knew that was something I would say in 2020? Much love. Stay safe. Stay sane. Reach out if you need something. We are here, and we'll see you tomorrow live at the Roxy.